Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to go through how to use the weekly planning mode. To start this video, we'll be bringing activities from the phase pull schedule into the weekly schedule. To learn more about our phase pull planning process, please be sure to check out our video on phase pull planning. In the application, once you're satisfied with the phase plan you've created, the next step is to click Phase to Week. From here, it'll be much easier to bring your activities into your weekly schedule. You'll see your screen is split up into phase plan and weekly schedule. When you bring your activity down into the weekly schedule from your phase plan, you'll now have an opportunity to edit this activity. As we come closer to the completion date, you can now edit the number of days or the crew size attached to this activity. Once you've completed that, you will click Save. After you click Save, you'll see your activity in the weekly schedule. If you click on the activity in the phase pull, you'll see a blue highlight around your activities. This shows that they are still associated, and you can use it to see what activities you brought into your weekly schedule. Once you're satisfied with the activities you brought into your weekly schedule, you can now click Weekly View. This creates more space for you and your team to continue weekly planning. To add an activity to your plan, you can press and hold on your screen on a specific day and lane, or you can add an activity from the menu. Please note that if you add an activity from the menu, it goes directly into your staging area. The staging area, also referred to as the parking lot, is an area where trades can queue up their activities. Because Nialli Visual Planner is cloud-based, activities can be added to the staging area through mobile applications, personal devices, to get ready for the upcoming planning meeting. The staging area can be minimized or expanded to create more space for your planning meetings. You can also drag your tags into your staging area when you're unsure of where they fit within your weekly schedule. Once you've added your activities into your weekly plan, you can now create dependencies. To create a dependency between two activities, you drag this green arrow to the other activity. In this example, site cleaning cannot be done until painting is complete. If painting is delayed within your weekly schedule, you will then see a red alert, which is an issue that needs to be resolved within the team. We've covered statusing your activities in the Getting Started with Nialli Visual Planner video. Now let's get into more detail. It's critically important for trades to status their activities as done or not done. To do this, you can use twist gestures or status your activities on your mobile devices. A twist to the right indicates the trade has completed their task. Another twist to the right indicates that that task is now completed. This is usually done by a superintendent or manager. On the other hand, a twist to the left shows that that task has not been completed. You can now choose your reasons for variance. In this case, we will choose labor constraint. Because of that labor constraint, you will now see a red alert on a dependent task. In the back end, all of this data is being tracked in a report called PPC, or Percent Plan Complete. This is to show tasks that are on schedule versus off schedule within your plan. The goal is not to assign blame or point fingers. It is to be transparent as to why work is being held up. Nialli Visual Planner supports constraint management. A constraint is a future roadblock that prevents a task from moving forward in your plan. An example of this could be waiting on a permit or waiting for supplies to be delivered to your project. A constraint can be applied to a specific activity or task, or to the entire project. To add a constraint, you will hold down the activity tag, or right-click on your desktop, and choose Log Constraint. You will then be asked to fill out necessary information. In this case, we will choose wood. You can then put in details, the person responsible, and the date that it's to be resolved. You will then click Save. You will now see a yellow dot on your activity that highlights your constraint. At any point, you can see all the constraints within your project. To do this, click Constraint Log on your menu. Here are the current constraints. You can also add a constraint generally to your project. You can see your resolved constraints throughout your project. If you have any open constraints that are now closed, all you need to do is click Done. Now you'll see that constraint is resolved. This wraps up our video on weekly planning with the Nialli Visual Planner. Please be sure to check out our other videos and our Knowledge Hub for additional information.